And I find all of this to be some kind of joke or something. Is the NDC...
J-O-K-E?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the NDC now dictating how the judiciary should work? Is that what they're doing? What's the benefit of this for us? Where is it going to take us? This argument that they are raising. They want to tell the Chief Justice what to do. And they want us to follow them. It's not going to happen as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't help us in any way. The language here, the thinking, the direction is all strange to me. And strange is a very diplomatic word. Yes, I mean, I don't understand where this is going. What's the point? What's the real point? To draw the public against the judiciary. That same mentality that brought PNDC and all of those things. Is that what they're bringing back? Where is it going to take us? What's the real benefit of this? It's not even about the cases. It's about the NDC's position on these things. The cases are a different matter. For this, what's the NDC trying to tell us? I mean, when you make a statement like such judicial manipulations, how dare they? In Ghana, NDC. They don't know, Fifi doesn't know the history of this country. Was he in Togo when President Rawlings called Justice Acha to the castle? We were in this country. Such judicial manipulations go to confirm the growing public perception that the current Chief... Which public? The current Chief Justice is a pliant accomplice and arbiter of the misrule of the despotic... What is this? Despotic. Does he understand what despotic means? Does the NDC agree with, as a totality? Because he's written for NDC, doesn't mean that everybody in NDC agrees with this kind of language. Despotic. In Ghana, today. In fact, let me add some drama to my comment. To Kwesi Pratt's Ghana, there's despots here. Oh, it's not true. So, I don't know where this is going. Another comment I found there are a whole host of other sentences, but here's another one I underlined. The Chief Justice must appreciate that justice emanates. They want to tell the Chief Justice where justice comes from and how justice is managed. I don't understand this.
Then are you suggesting that no citizen of Ghana has the right to comment on actions of the Chief Justice or any member of the judiciary?
Everybody has a comment, has a right to that.
So,
is this
so
one?
Why do you want to take that right?
They've got themselves. Why? They also have a right to comment on the comments.
No, but when you say how dare them?
Yes, how dare them?
What is their how dare them?
It is my comment.
They don't have a right?
No. On what basis?
But they've established the basis.
No. Who are they? We know the NDC in this country.
Yes.
I've given you one example. In fact, it's a primary example. Yes. In this country, the NDC, it wasn't even PNDC, it was the NDC. President Rawlings called the justice to the castle to ask him why he had passed a certain judgment. This is the same kind of thing that's going on here. Is that what helps this country? Is that how governance is? Is that how we're supposed to see ourselves? We should continue to give the public the impression that depending on who is in office, judgments must go a certain way. So right now, as far as the NDC is concerned, because the NPP is in government, judgments are going NDC's way, MPP's way, and that they won't tolerate it, which then implies that as for them, when they come into office, then justice will go their way, and that's how we're going to run this country. Is that what we're saying? So, because when you make a comment like this, I mean, Randy, what does this mean? What does this mean? The Chief Justice must appreciate that justice emanates from the people and that the judiciary exists to serve the overall interests of the state and not the interest of any particular political party. Where is it coming from? What is the justification for this comment?
But I thought that the justification for that comment was made in the earlier paragraph.
Which is? That.
But you have the statement before.
No, yes. That, you see, are they trying to tell the Chief Justice what to do? That the Chief Justice should schedule things according to their thinking?
Yeah, but their view is that, their view is that So that's where the issue of justice must not just be done, but must be seen to be done.
Right.
They're saying that, and I said that is what even influenced what I said last week.
Good.
Not because I even knew this was going to happen.
Good.
Of course, I don't have the powers of prophecy, so
Good.
I didn't know this was going to happen. But you have two, and I'm using two broadly because the cases are more than two, but you have two broadly. You have a rift between the executive and the legislature. Both of them are citing applications for injunction as a basis for they not proceeding with what they should do. Now, the executive is the one that cited it first, the president, that it has come to my attention that these cases have been filed, and so I'm staying off my hands. And I think everybody should stay off their hands on the matter. The legislature, in responding to that 2 weeks after, says that I've also just been made aware of a suit. So going by the president's admonition and logic and everything on the matter, we're also staying our hands on it. Now, so you have two applications before the Supreme Court. One done 2 weeks apart. Now the NDC says that it's come to his knowledge that the one which was done 2 weeks later has been fixed for hearing today. However, the ones that were filed 2 weeks earlier had not been fixed for hearing. And they even go further to refer to a case that they filed in 2022 on the 11th, which has still not been fixed for hearing. Yet something that was filed a week ago or so has been fixed for hearing. And they are saying that although the Constitution gives the CJ the administrative power to do these things, the exercise of that discretionary power is also dictated by the Constitution. That it must be seen to be fair, it must not be seen to be capricious, it must not be seen to be this. And that in their view, by listing this case, which was filed 2 weeks later, the CJ is exhibiting all the things that they are talking about. So they have laid a basis for it. Unless you disagree with the basis that they have laid, to say that if these cases were filed 2 weeks earlier, they should not have been listed first, or that the CJ should not have held a view that, look, because this is about the executive and legislature, there's a friction. Can't we hear all these cases on the same day and deal with them and move on? But this one has been listed, and the ones that were done 2 weeks ago have not even been listed for hearing, and that's their basis for the bias accusation.
Randy, are the courts a political institution?
They shouldn't be.
But are they?
Political, I'm not sure. Maybe you want to ask if they are partisan.
Are they a political institution? It's a straight question, Randy. Are they a political institution? Is the judiciary a political institution? It's a straight question. When you start asking me if or this, and then you're trying to read my mind. Don't. Are they a political institution?
Well, it depends on what you define as political.
No, what is a political institution?
No, it depends on what you define as political.
What is a political institution? A political institution is very clear. So what is it? Politics is politics, and therefore what is a political institution, Randy?
No, you tell me. I don't know.
Oh, Randy, I want you to answer that.
No, I don't know. That's why I asked you if you are referring to partisan. But if you say not partisan but politics, then I want to understand what you mean by a political institution.
The judiciary is not a political institution. And so it must not pander to political interests. And the rest of us must want a sanctuary of a non-political institution, especially when it's the judiciary.
Yes.
And so why are we approaching this from this angle? So this angle does not show that we recognize it as a non-political institution which we want to uphold. When you use words like the words that have been used here to make the same case, as for making the case, if you notice, it's not my problem. It is the how they are approaching.
Why?
And why should we be talking like that to the judiciary?
Why should, for example, why should we not have an understanding? I am not a lawyer. I have never been a judge. I'm not sure I'll ever be a judge. Now, shouldn't we have an understanding of why, for example, a case, and I have tried to show the similarities in the case and the fact that there's currently a friction between two arms of government as a result of both cases. If you have a situation where you have one being listed, the one which was filed later, and the ones that were filed earlier, not listed, would any reasonable person not want to find out why?
Good. Is that question asked here in a manner that will solicit a response? When you're insulting me, you think I'll give you an answer? And that's my point, Randy. I'm saying that there's no problem with raising a query and wanting some kind of resolve. But don't undermine the institution. That's what this thing is doing. And why do we want to encourage that? Knowing the history of this country, especially to do with the judiciary and to do with the legislature.
Should the institution itself also not be minded?
And this is the way to do it?
No, I'm saying that must the institution also not be minded?
Yeah.
And I'm choosing my words carefully.
Good.
That look, with all the accusations, counter accusations, with the kind of environment that we have in acting on such matters, shouldn't the institution itself be also interested in how the exercise of the CJ's administrative functions be seen as dishing out justice, as being fair and just in going about things?
If we want a stable democracy, a governance system that is working, something that will give us results, do we resolve all of these questions from this approach? Do we resolve that from this approach? You have a problem, you want it resolved. Is this how to resolve it? When you're calling people names, you think
what will you recommend?
Say the same thing in a better way. This language is not the kind you put out. What you're saying here is that everybody should stop respecting the CJ and the Supreme Court because they are biased. They are supporting a despotic system. Is that what's going to help us? That's what they are saying. That's what Fifi Kwete and the NDC are telling us. That this is how, is this the language to use when you want a response? To say that such judicial manipulations, are those the words to use if you are soliciting for progress in this country? That's the question I'm asking. There can be no earthly justification for this. What do you mean? You haven't solicited. How would you know? You're trying to tell us that as for you, you have the answer. There's no earthly justification. They're the only ones who have the answer. Nobody else can think. Is that what you're saying? When you use language like that, as the political tradition that birthed the Fourth Republic, really, let's not even go there. Do you know what it took? There was a judicial system in place before the Fourth Republic, of which you are the descendants of the coup makers, were fought in order to get this Fourth Republic. It doesn't come hand in a thing like that. This thing for me is not good. It doesn't serve any purpose for us. It only creates more animosity. It's trying to divide the country against the judiciary. The attack on government is not my problem because they are the opposition party. But the judiciary, why would you do that? Where's the basis for this? There's no basis for attacking the judiciary on this. If you have a personal problem with the Chief Justice and you want to deal with the Chief Justice on a personal level, let us understand that. But as a national institution, a state institution, the judiciary, this is not how we should tolerate it.